Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I do apologize guys for not posting a video yesterday. I actually made a video for all of you, but it really was just another guild raid run with Chris, highlighting a striker, and it was a decent video, but unfortunately my voice didn't come through. I don't know what happened, I'm not really sure. So that's why you guys didn't get a video yesterday, and I honestly just got so busy that I didn't have time to make another one. But yesterday we did get some very good news as far as the future of King of Fighter All-Stars. So we know that the Ruby event is going to be coming, the return Ruby login event, where a lot of players are going to be able to get a return on their investment from the past, from spending over 40,000 rubies in the game to where they're going to get 54,000 rubies in return after August 22nd. But we're also getting something else, which is actually pretty damn quality, and that is what they put in this developer's handbook. So let's do a little reading, guys. So the 5th anniversary of Kofus has passed, and we are about to reach a new turning point. Thank you again for celebrating. Thank you. And in the last developer's handbook, we mentioned that this year's goal was to develop with two big directions: elemental role reorganization and growth enhancing direction. So we got some changes coming. The objective of reorganizing the role of fighter elements is to ensure that fighters can be continuously used in the dungeons, including not only attributes but also various fighter metas. Therefore, we are producing new content with the biggest goal of building a new use case of fighters. So what they're saying is here, they're trying to come up with something to where we can use a multitude of fighters, which is amazing, guys. This is something that I've complained about over and over because we have a lot of fighters that are just collecting dust on the shelf. That's pretty much all they're doing. And then reinforcing the purpose of fighter growth is aimed at improving the overall system, including not only renewing existing content, but also adding new content so that more diverse fighters can be used within the content. Of course, additional efforts are being made to expand the fun of fighter growth itself. So again, trying to, for allowing us to be able to use more fighters, making more characters more relevant in the game is a good thing, right? You want to have a reason to level up BS and SS. You want to have a reason to level up a multitude of fighters, right? The way it is now, we just get a power creep character, have them, they pretty much do everything in the game for the most part, and that's pretty much it. It's really in the PvP game modes like Absolute War and League where we actually need, some other fighters, but for a lot of game modes, we really don't, in all honesty. And then we get into some really good stuff, which is the new content. First, the Ash Saga 2003 story. I know a lot of players are going to be very happy to hear that. We've been wondering for a long time when in the hell we were going to get this thing. So this is amazing, guys. So we're going to be getting the new Ash Saga story, which means a whole bunch of rubies. That is fantastic. Really happy to see that. Then second, the AG system and the Trojan horse. The influence of Phantom Gate, which was only dealt with in the Epic Quest, will be expanded throughout the game, starting with the KOF 2003 story update. And as we read further, the appearance of enemies with new stats influenced by the Trojan horse. Enemies with momentum and overpower will appear in dungeons other than the AG's challenge. Oh, wonderful, right? So we're going to have some higher difficulty, so hopefully Netmarble rewards us for our efforts in those higher difficulty game modes. Due to the influence of the Phantom Gate, enemies appearing later will also appear stronger than before, like the Trojan horse. In order to fight against these stronger enemies, you need to acquire a new concept item called Plug In, which is going to be kind of similar to what we had with the 80s challenge with the nuts. New equipment to counter new enemies, Plug In. In order to counter the powerful enemies that appear in the Trojan horse, enemies that cannot be defended by the 80s system alone, tuners came up with the concept of a plug-in to expand the fighter's data area. Fighters can acquire new stats that can respond not only to momentum and overpower, okay, so even where the 80s challenge is being applied, we can actually use these things, but also new concept stats by equipping plugins separately from the AG system. Plugins can be acquired through the newly opened content plugin plant. Okay, so that's going to be some new content that we're going to have. We'll have to see how fun that's actually going to be. And then plugin plant is a dungeon where plugins can be obtained. And more detailed information on the setting of the dungeon will be given through a separate notice later. So this might mean that we might need specific characters for this game mode. We don't know if we can use just whatever characters, or if we need certain typings like tag or purple or whatever the case may be. So we're going to have to wait and see how this turns out. And then the new dungeon, Tower of Illusion. All right. So the Tower of Illusion, where powerful enemies affected by the Phantom Gate appear, will be opened. In the tower, each floor has its own advantages, strategy, so it is necessary to develop various fighters, which is good to see, fighters, or equip certain plugins to face it efficiently. So it looks like they're giving you an option to where you can use your plugins, or you have to use various fighters in order to get it done, which I like. The more versatility, the better, right? The more options that we have, the better. Due to the difficulty level, the rewards of the tower will be set to meet the expectations of the contenders. So I hope that, you know, they give us something worthwhile in here. That would be pretty amazing if they did. It'd be nice to see an EX generic memory. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but it would be nice if they done that. And then we have improvements. As announced in advance on 7th to 27, update detailed notice, there was a problem regarding the Awakened EX capsules, which could not be obtained smoothly due to the lack of fighters matching the conditions for the upper floors of Reviving Hell's Dungeon. Now, I have to say, guys, this here, I'm not really sure what they're talking about, because I feel like, especially with all the new characters that we're getting with all these insane dots, Reviving Hell's Dungeon actually became a lot easier. Like, we could cheeseball the living hell out of that game mode. So I think that maybe there was maybe a minority of players that was complaining about this. Maybe they felt it was too hard, but honestly, it's pretty easy. It was actually really easy. Even level 90, certain level 90 characters could melt the living hell out of that game mode. This was, a little bit of skillful gameplay, as long as you were aiming in the opposite direction of the opponents that were fighting you, because you would get that reflect. But it really wasn't all that difficult. So I'm not really sure what they're referring to, but evidently it must be a problem for some players out there. In particular, we acknowledge that new or returning contenders could have more difficulties in this scenario. So in order to solve this problem, the Reviving Hell's Dungeon will be terminated and a new difficulty level will be added to the existing EXP dungeon to make it easier to acquire Awakened EX capsules. In the new difficulty, you can acquire a new Awakening EX capsule, and a new capsule is integrated capsule type that can be used on all Awakening levels, unlike before. So what they're saying, guys, like if you jump into the game, right? If you jump into the game and you jump down in here, the way the characters are set up now is that you have to use all these different Awakening levels. Like you'd have the level 1 experience bottle to take a 1-star to level 10, level 2 to take a 2-star to level 20, and so on, right? So what they're going to do is they're just going to have one Awakened level bottle that's just going to level all the levels, whether they're A1, A2, A3, A4, and so have you. So that actually might be pretty good. Actually might be a nice little quality of life change, in all honesty, guys. So we'll have to see how that actually plays out. And then second, dungeon category reorganization. Since there is a considerable quantity of outdated content, we plan to rearrange the overall entry path. Currently, frequently played content is concentrated in one category, but after reorganization, the content will be more evenly distributed. That sounds good. And then, they ended the developer's handbook, saying that they're focusing on improving all of the updates, especially for the August update, and hopefully we will enjoy this. So there's a lot of goodness in here, guys. We have the new story mode that's going to be coming for the Ash Saga. That is amazing. We might get a nice little quality of life change with the EX experience bottles. But for me, what I'm most excited about is the fact that we're going to be getting new content. The fact that they are talking about that we're going to use different fighters, right, with different attributes in the game, where we can actually hopefully use a lot of these fighters that we don't touch. A lot of us have like an A7 Orochi or an A7 Rugal, or we have these characters, but players don't feel like they really need to level them up. So hopefully what's going to happen after the August update is that we're going to have some nice little changes to where we can use all of these characters. That would be so good if we could do that. That would be so cool to highlight these characters, and honestly it would make these BS and SS characters more valuable, and also the older EX characters as well. So there's a lot of good news in the update, guys. So let me know how you're all feeling about the upcoming updates, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GD+7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody. Take care.